All right, what's up? We are going to be doing a color wheel and mixing presentation today. So if you're familiar with the color wheel, that's great. If this is all new information for you, no big deal. I got you covered. So first thing we're going to talk about is color symbolism. Now, we are experts in color symbolism after we did our abstract painting. So we knew that blue meant calm or sad and red meant angry or love. And this is a symbolic approach to color. So for this unit, we're going to shift to a scientific approach to color. So the guy who invented the color wheel, he arranged it in a way that you can always know how to mix the colors that you need. So for instance, if you're thinking to yourself, how do I make the color green? You're going to look at the color wheel and you're going to see what two primary colors green is in between, and that's going to help you figure out how to mix it. So understanding the color wheel is going to help us understand how to mix the colors we need. It's also going to show us how to use colors to make our artwork more eye-catching and another way to analyze the art. As we're going through the Color Harmonies presentation, make sure that you're filling in the guided notes that were also linked into this document so that you can have that takeaway when you start to do the projects that are throughout the rest of the week. So now we're going to move into a scientific approach to color. Now, the science of color is that there are different widths of wavelengths, and those produce different colors. And so you'll see the red wavelength is like real loosey-goosey and kind of spread apart, whereas the purple wavelength is really close together. When you see something that you perceive to be the color red, the reality is that it's actually absorbing every other color of light. It's only reflecting the color red. So if you see blue, it's reflecting blue light. If you see green, it's reflecting green light. And we know those different light types based on the wavelengths of them. Okay, so hashtag the more you know. That'll be more important in high school when you guys get up there. So the first color scheme we're going to look at is the primary colors. Primary colors are important because you cannot mix other colors to make them. You have to start with them. But from the primary colors and black and white, you can make like thousands and thousands of color. It's like mind-blowing. Another way that I remember the primary colors is that they are KU colors. The root of the word prime means one. So I remember it because KU is primary or number one at basketball in their primary colors. Another way you can remember it is through the primary color wrap. So here we go. The primary colors are red, blue, and yellow. Red, blue, and yellow. Red, blue, and yellow. The primary colors are red, blue, and yellow. These are the primary colors. Yeah. So go ahead and get those primary colors filled in on the left-hand side of your worksheet, and in that color wheel in general, you'll see yellows at the very top. And then we have red and blue. If you look at the shape the primary colors make on the color wheel, that's going to make a right side up triangle, which is going to help you when you go to start labeling blank color wheels. So primary colors, 1, start with them. Next up, we've got secondary colors. Now you all are smart individuals. 1 plus 1 equals 2. So a primary plus a primary is going to equal a secondary color. If you look at the color wheel here, we see that the color purple is in between the two primaries of red and blue. And that's actually the two primary colors that it takes to make it. Now with purple, we call this one violet, is like its official name, but its nickname is purple, but they mean the same thing. So you can use them interchangeably. When we mix yellow and blue together, we get green. When we mix yellow and red together, we get orange. So those are your secondary colors. The root word in secondary is 2 because it takes 2 primary colors to make it. Next up, we have tertiary colors. Now, I want to embarrass you and make you do my turn, your turn, like I do in my classroom, but I want you to practice saying this word out loud. Tertiary. Tertiary. I had a class running around a couple of years ago that was all calling them tertiaries, and we did not sound very educated, so I just want to make sure that you're practicing saying that out loud. Tertiary. Tertiary colors, the root word of tertiary, like tricycle, is 3. So it's going to take a primary plus a secondary color to make them. Now, if you look at the colors on the screen there, these are like the fun pack colors you got to pay extra for in the marker pack. So let's start with red violet. You guys like to call this one burgundy. Red orange is a dark orange. Yellow orange is like a macaroni and cheese color. Yellow green is lime green. Blue green, you guys like to call teal or turquoise. And then blue violet is going to be like a midnight blue. So you're going to see those tertiary color boxes on the left-hand side, and you also want to fill that into the color wheel. And you can pause at any point if I'm going too fast, which is not something you have the luxury of doing when I'm teaching directly. All right, next up we've got neutral colors. These live in the middle of the color wheel. Black, brown, gray, and white. Black and white cannot be created. You have to start with those. To make brown, you'll mix equal parts of all primary colors. And to make gray, you mix complementary colors, which are across the color wheel from each other. And we'll learn more about those later. So our first color scheme / color harmony we're going to investigate is called monochromatic. Monochromatic. Mono means one. Chroma means color. So it's one color plus different tints and shades. So for example, I could have light blue, regular blue, dark blue, black and white. Those are all going to be considered a single monochromatic color scheme or color harmony. And you can do that with any color. If your favorite color is purple, do monochromatic purple on that one. Okay? Here's a really awesome example of a monochromatic poster. Love that. This would be monochromatic of what color? Think to yourself. 3, 2, 1. It's blue. All right, when we're talking about monochromatics, I did mention that we have tints and shades of a single color. Now, if you look at this color wheel here, this ring that I'm circling with my mouse, those are tints. So they're any color plus white. As we get to the outer rings, those are shades. Those are any color plus black. I remember these because you want to tint your teeth to be white, and when you put shades or sunglasses on, stuff gets darker. Next up, we've got warm and cool colors. So when you go to the sink to wash your hands, which we've all been doing a lot of lately, and you look at the faucet, there's a red faucet and a blue faucet. And the red faucet means hot water. Well, it also is the basis of our warm colors, which is red violet, red orange, orange, yellow orange, and yellow. The blue faucet is going to be for the cold water, which is also the cool colors. So they're not like cool because I like them. They're cool because they're cool toned, because they have blue in them, like yellow, green, green, blue, violet, and violet. So go ahead and get those filled in. And then the last one that we're looking at, I think, is analogous colors. Analogous colors. Okay, so analogous colors are colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. Next to each other on the color wheel. So if I look at any of these pairs here, those are all analogous, analogous, analogous. Now, these are neighbors and they're mostly cool, but you don't have to stay that way. You could have some warm and some cool in a single color scheme as long as they're next door neighbors to each other. So on the guided notes, you have blue, green, blue, and blue, violet down there to the bottom right-hand side. Oh, we've got another one. Next up, we've got complementary colors. These colors are opposite of each other on the color wheel. And they look really vibrant when they're next to each other, but when you mix them together, you also get gray. So you just need to keep that in mind. Every pair will have one primary color and one secondary color. So if we look here, red's partner in crime is green, yellow with purple, and blue with orange. So it's important to memorize these. So let's think of some ways that we can memorize them. So what's something that uses red and green a lot? Maybe like Christmas colors. What about yellow and purple? What about the Lakers or the Vikings? And then we've got blue and orange, like Oklahoma City Thunder or the Broncos, maybe. So remember those complementary pairs, and you're going to fill those in too. So just to review, here's our little color chart. Make sure that you have all those boxes filled in on your color wheel guided notes. That's going to help you with the activities for the rest of the week. I hope that you guys learned something new today, because color is amazing and it's all around you. So I hope you guys have an awesome